Do you enjoy music? I would be willing to bet that you probably have some kind of interest in music, maybe just listening to music, maybe performing music, whatever it might be. I want you to listen in on this because if you enjoy music in just the smallest way, you can integrate it into your classroom. And I want to share a couple of ways that music can help build community in your classroom. What do the arts have to do with learning in SEL? Oh, so much. Join me as we explore the depths of how these things come together through SEAL, social, emotional, artistic learning. We'll look at the mindset, the methods, and the integrations that make SEAL so effective. So plug yourself in. It's time to get inspired. Now, music integration is how I actually started with arts integration because I was a music major in college and I just learned as much as humanly possible about music while I had the opportunity in my schooling. Well, I could actually probably talk about the implications of music in education and how we can integrate music into so many aspects of our classroom. I could probably talk about that for days. Well, at SEAL Week just happened, and the SEAL Week Challenge, we talk about all the different art forms and how utilizing the creativity that comes from those arts, how we can integrate them into bettering students' social emotional learning. And of course, music was absolutely right there in the mix of all the other art forms. And what I would love to do today is actually share a clip from day 4 of the SEAL Week Challenge. Day 4 was all about relationships for learning. And music can be one of the best ways to build relationships and create a community within your classroom. And I would love for you to check it out, listen in, and let me know what your thoughts are about the possibilities of music in your classroom. Now, there are some funny little bubble sounds there because this is actually taken from a Facebook Live, so you'll hear when people kind of put in little comments and things like that. But I think that you'll enjoy these 2 ways that we can build community with music. Okay, let's talk about music. So I told you about the work I did with listening to music in the classroom. I've talked a little bit about that. I want to focus in on that just slightly because what I found, and I started listening to music with my students on a daily basis, my very first year of teaching. My very first job was teaching 2nd grade in Massachusetts, and it was in 1999. And I just had these listening experiences with my students. And I'm telling you, the experience of listening to music together, the way that we did, and I outline it all. That was my first book, Active Listening. It was called Inspired by Listening. The way that you present the music to your students and kind of just guide them through and into these discussions and into these, having them interpret the music, it builds relationships like nothing else. It's really, truly amazing. What you see on the screen is a picture of students' emotional reactions to the song April in Paris. And that was a song that we listened to in April by chance. And we, discussed it and talked about it. And that was one thing that we did was they put their emotion words up on the board as they transitioned from snack time to the next thing that we were doing. And every time that we listened to a song and every time that we talked about it, it was a way for the students to share that common experience, right? It created this community. It was like bringing the kids on a field trip, but doing it every single day that we were listening to the music. But what really was pretty cool was that not only were they kind of building this little community that was getting to know the music itself, but they were also getting to hear other people's interpretations, getting to understand where other kids might be coming from, and really getting an understanding that their perspective and their interpretation wasn't the only one. It's such a powerful lesson that we can't just tell kids about. We can't just say, well, we all have different perspectives, they may not think that way, but you may think this way. But being able to put it in the context of listening to the music and allowing them the chance to feel their own emotion and then hear it from another person as being maybe something different or maybe even something similar, it was a great way for them to really open their eyes. It really goes back to the empathy that we've been talking about as well, right? All of this is so intertwined. Having to just, put all the different social emotional competencies and skills in different boxes can be kind of limiting or misleading, I guess is a better word, because it really is all very much intertwined with one another. So consider how you might want to actually actively listen to music. And if you're interested in learning more about that, just let me know, because I have so many resources that I can lead you to. And so this is such a great way to build that sense of community, because for the most part, I think I've come across, in my 24 years, I want to say 3 students that will actually tell me that they just don't like listening to music. So music is such a common thing that people enjoy. All right, so there you go. Active listening time is such a great thing. And also percussion circles. Has anyone ever done instrument play with their students? And I'm not just talking little guys. I'm talking big guys too. Because percussion circles can be such a great way to build community. A couple of SEAL Week days ago, we talked about, being able to utilize an instrument. It must have been with day 1, creative expression. How you can utilize an instrument to have a voice, right? You can kind of show your voice and your emotion through the instrument. But then you can also take percussion circles and not just have students have their own voice, but see how their voice works within the community as a whole. Wow, what another amazing, powerful message that we can send to our students and really have them understand this concept through the arts, in this case, through music. Music is so powerful. It really is. It's so powerful. I think it was Bobby McFerrin that said something like, I hope I don't mess this up, but something like, no other art form creates community like music does. And I really truly believe that. So if you're really thinking about how can I truly build relationships in my classroom, consider some music. Consider how you can utilize music. And I absolutely have a lot of resources for you at the Inspired Classroom if you're interested in learning more about that. All right. So what did you think? Let me know by DMing me on Instagram or Facebook or finding me on LinkedIn. I love chatting with other teachers about the topic of music in the classroom. And I would love to know what your thoughts are on these 2 ideas of how to build community within our classrooms through music. Until next time, I hope you stay inspired. Thanks so much for listening. Please be sure to subscribe as we continue talking about arts, learning, and SEL through SEAL, social, emotional, artistic learning. If you want to learn more, go to theinspiredclassroom.com. My name's Elizabeth Peterson, reminding you to get inspired so that you can be inspiring to your students.